Welcome. Hello, everybody. I saw Cindy was here. Let's just wait for some um, eyeballs to pop up. Let me get back over to comments. So, Cindy, nice to see you. Ooh. So we'll give a few more seconds or so for people to pop in here. It is freezing cold here in Maryland. I just got home like 10 minutes ago and 26 degrees on the way home. That's not enough degrees. Hey, Carol. So yeah, all of a sudden cold and windy. I mean, I know it's still winter time, but this is just ridiculous. Like way too cold. All right. So, okay, let's get cracking. Okay. So, welcome everybody. I am ToniStamps. You're here on my channel, and we're going to be making a mini album tonight. Freezing in Jersey too. Yeah. Yeah, I figured if we're getting it, you're probably getting it too. But yeah, this is definitely a cold front. I don't appreciate it, especially when we got our electric bill a couple weeks ago. It's crazy. So anyway, um, let's talk about a couple things that are out. So you know all the things like um, the mini catalog went on sale, the January online exclusives are on sale, we've got the product of the month, we've got the bonus days. So I've already talked about that. What I want to tell you is this Made with Love suite. So I'm making a scrapbook with the, hey, excuse me, I almost choked on my cough drop. The Love Story scrapbooking workshop kit, okay? And it coordinates with the Made with Love suite. Hey, Lisa. So a couple things are out of stock. And Deborah's here. Awesome. Watching in Minneapolis. So I was just saying it's like 26 degrees here. It's probably worse in Minneapolis. So the Made with Love Designer Series paper pack. So like I said, I'm working with the scrapbooking workshop kit. You could get the paper pack, but that is out of stock. They also have it's the designer series paper with a sticker sheet. That is also out of stock, but the kit is available. So I'm glad that's what I have. That's what I'm working with. I do like that more than just getting the designer paper with the stickers, because with the workshop scrapbooking kit, you also get those two-tone papers, which we're actually using this time to make pages. You get the sticker sheet. You also get the die cuts. There's like two 12 by 12 sheets of die cuts. So there's more stuff. The paper is not the same. So it's not the same as getting a full pack of the Made with Love Designer Series paper. Hey, Carol. It's like a partial pack, and then there's some prints that are one-sided that may or may not be in the designer series paper pack, like the normal one. So it's just kind of like a different configuration, but I love it. That's what we're working with. The other thing I want to tell you, it just occurred to me today that Super Bowl is coming up, right? So I've just printed my sheets off. Um, so I'm going to do the squares again. I'm going to have a Zoom on Super Bowl Sunday, which is February 8th. I'm going to post this chart on my Facebook page. All right. I'm not going to share it anywhere else because whenever I do that, it gets confusing as far as claiming numbers. So I'm only going to have it, hey, Gloria, on my Facebook page. And I'm going to do the same thing, $4 a square, and we'll have 4 prizes, one for and there'll be $100 shopping sprees. I'll pay for the tax and the shipping. Hey, Jamie Gibbs, but it'll be first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then the final score. Okay. So if it goes into overtime or all that, like it's the final score, not just fourth quarter. All right. First, second, third quarter, and then final. You can buy as many squares as you want. You're going to have to PayPal me, like friends and family, because I can't have any fees taken off this, because then I don't get all the money for the actual prizes. If you're local, you can give me cash. If you want to send a check, I just have to have it in time to deposit it before, let's say, so February 8th is a Sunday, so let's go Thursday, like whatever day that is. 8765, the 5th. So I will post details over the weekend and the initial chart, like the blank chart. So yeah, stamping squares. And yeah, we'll do the Zoom and I'll have the challenges like I've done the last bunch of years. You don't have to play in the challenges if you don't want. Some people like to, I post the challenges ahead of time. Some people like to create their stuff ahead of time. Some people like me, I just create it like while we're stamping, while we're Zooming. Um, Somebody on the Zoom will have to be responsible for watching the game, paying attention to the score, and getting me the final scores after each quarter, right? Because I don't even have a TV in here. Like when I watch TV in here, I watch Hallmark Channel. Hey, Karen, on my iPad, so I will not be watching the Super Bowl. But we have fun. And it's usually a small group of us. It's only, I think the most we had might have been 10 people that Zoomed. And, it's crafty fun, fellowship with your stampers, and, it's all good times. All right, let's go down here and we're going to look at a couple things and then we'll get into it. So last week, I just wanted to show you. Last week, I ended up making this pizza box to hold one of these heart-shaped Valentine ding dongs. My original plan, though, was to make a two cupcake holder, and I went back and created a separate video to do that. Let me get that out of the way. So this was my prototype. This is the one I did in the video. And I've got my divider here because I wanted to have like a double compartment thing. Now, it turns out this is bigger than I needed for the ding dongs, but too small, too big, like whatever. But so there's a separate video for that, and I like it. I hope you create it. So you could even use this for like Mother's Day or Father's Day, like, put whatever you want in it, but it does hold quite a bit. These are like basically 4x4 or 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 areas. So love that. Okay. What we're doing tonight, let's put this down here. We're making a scrapbook. And again, I'm using the Love Story Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. All right. I've already pulled out all the two-tone pages because we're going to use those to make our actual pages later. But I haven't. Let's just look at the Designer Series paper. All right. Well, let's just do the whole thing. So these instructions, this kit is intended to make 3 12x12 spreads. I'm not doing that. So we've got, these are some one-sided pieces. These are a white background. I know you can't see this, but they're teeny tiny pink hearts. Maybe there you can see it. It looks like it's pretty in pink. And again, one-sided, so white on the back. This is, I think it's Poppy Parade with Flirty Flamingo. And I like that pattern. And I think that is from the paper, but that's one-sided. Then we've got two-sided pieces. And this is the same that's in the paper pack. Pretty in pink with white flowers on the back and just little hearts on that one. I love this pattern. The all over hearts background. Love it. And then we've got that, like little lines. XOXO. I love this one too. Backside is a diagonal, which may make my camera go crazy. It also had 7 sheets of two-tone cardstock. And I've already pulled them out and cut them up because we're going to be using those later tonight. But we've also got, looks like 2 pieces of Willow White 12x12. So this is sturdier than the two-tone cardstock. Then we've also got photo mats. So we can use these to help us place our photos. Or sometimes I just stamp on the back of them and I just use them like white paper. Then we've got die cuts. So 2 12x12 sheets of die cuts. Look at this huge, humongous heart. This whole thing is a heart. Now, I'm not going to be able to use that on this album because I'll tell you that is super ginormous. But that would go on a a scrapbook page for sure, like a 12 by 12 page. But I like these die cuts. We're going to use whatever ones I feel like. Yeah, gather together. I love these little hearts. Then we've got a sticker sheet, right? Lots of other little bits that we can add. Hearts, some borders, and then more of those photo mats, and then the whiteboard. So I'm going to save this because I do stuff with the whiteboard too. So anyway, that's the kit. Let me put this back in, and we're going to get started, okay? So what we're making tonight is the base. All right. So I want this album to be 6 by 9, and I got that from, we're using chipboard that comes in the paper pumpkin kits, all right? They generally are all the same size and thickness. I have a pile of them. Some are not exactly the same. So find 3 pieces that are the same width and the same size, all right? 2, you're not even going to cut. And these are actually like 6 1/8 by 9, but I still said 6 by 9 for the finish because it's like close enough. So I'm just going to use these like as they are. I took the third one and I cut just a 2-inch strip off. So this is going to be our spine. So this album is going to be landscape like this with the spine like on the side. You guys, I can't wait to see how this turns out because I'm just in love with the idea. So first you want to start with adding your adhesive. Now I have this 6-inch roll of this tape, this score tape. You could use the adhesive sheets from Stampin' Up! Because they are 6 inches wide, but that stuff I find is a little bit harder to work with. It's not as thick as this. If you mess up with the adhesive sheets, if you mess up and if you don't land it straight on your chipboard, it's kind of a wreck, like getting it off. It's real touchy. So use it for a chimichanga without the divider. Oh my God. The boxes, are chimichangas even that big? That's hilarious. Because that box is like 4 by 8. That's funny, Jamie. All right, so we've got our chipboard. And again, I'm going to have all my measurements on my blog this weekend, but this is what we're going with. So we've got our paper pumpkin chipboard. 2 pieces that are 6 1/8 by 9, 1 piece that is 2 by 6 1/8. All right, then we've got our cardstock covers. I'm going to cover this. So I'm just adding a couple pieces of regular cardstock. Okay. We're going to do Poppy Parade. So I'm wrapping these covers. All right. I'm using the Country Craft Creations wrapped cover method, and the lay flat method. So we've got 2 pieces, Poppy Parade. These are 8 by 11. All right. And then we've got 1 piece for the spine that is 5 by 8. All right. So the reason we make it bigger is on the spine, we want it an inch bigger up top, inch bigger on the bottom, 1.5 on each side. All right. Because we're going to use this to hook the covers on. For the front and back covers, we want basically an inch on each side. So we go, let's just say this was 6 by 9. So that's why I came up with 8 by 11, because we want an inch here, 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 here. So we're adding 2 inches really to each one. All right. So let's start. You need I'm using my scoreboard, and then I've got my these things that help me keep everything straight. I got these from Country Craft Creations as well. All right, so we're going to put our cardstock, and this is regular cardstock, right? Not the 2-tone. Put our guide up here and our cardstock, like that's all up in the corner. And when I put this tape on, I burnished it like crazy. All right, so what I do is, I can peel this whole thing off. All right, I want to line this up. Again, mash everything up in that corner so it's nice and straight. So I'm going to use this template, this guide, to just get that down. And I'll come back in and burnish that. We're just going to do all the pieces right now. right? And our second piece. So our front and back covers and our spine are Poppy Parade. And I do like this tape better than even using glue, but I have used glue in some of my albums. So I'm not saying I'll never do it, but I do like the tape. All right, same thing. Just gonna press this right into that corner. All right. Now for the spine, since that's like we need 1.5 inches on the sides, that's why this comes in a set of 2. So this one is 1 inch and 1 inch. This one is specifically for spine covers. It is 1 inch and 1.5. So this time we're putting our cardstock like that with the 1.5 inch on the left side. And same thing, we're just gonna peel and stick. There we go. And just gonna lay this down. There we go. All right, and then I'm done with my guides. I forget what they're called. Oh, all right. So now let's burnish all of this. So let's just go, oopsie, back and forth. You want that, and if you don't have those guides, you just want to eyeball it. Just get it in the middle. It's not the end of the world if it's a little bit crooked. All right, now I'm gonna take a this curved end of my Teflon, and I just want to run this like on the outside where that chipboard meets. And I want to do this on all the sides. And I'm going to go back to the other covers and wrap them first, but I figured I'd at least do this scoring since I'm got this piece here. So just gently like back and forth. Oopsie, I almost stabbed it and made a hole. I would have been mad. All right, that's good. And we're going to bend that more later. Same thing with these other pieces. Let's flip it over. Find the edge. And let's do a little burnishing. So I'm going to burnish it. Then we're going to like train it, bend it a little bit back and forth. Because ideally we don't want the edges, we don't want the cardstock to crack along the edges. So just take your time. All right, so while I'm doing this, I also realized I wanted to show you the sneak peek of my January tutorial. So we're going to do that at the end. And tonight we're wrapping these covers. We're going to make the hinge, insert the hinge, and add the pages. This album is going to have 7 pages, you guys. Hey, Di, how are you? I'm wearing the shirt you gave me today. My, what does it say? I want to make cards and hang out with my craft supplies. It doesn't say I want to hang out with my craft friends. It says I want to hang out with my craft supplies. Hilarious. I'll show you guys at the end. And I don't know, where did you get this one? T-squares, is that what they're called? I think Country Craft Creations calls them something else because they're not T's. They're like a L. It goes in the corner. It's some kind of like, I don't know, scrapbook cover, something or other. All right, so getting these. Now, when I wrap this, I am going to use more tape. I'm going to use some tear and tape and some glue. All right, that's good. So see how I've scored it and made those little indents? All right, so now we want to gently bend this, okay? Just go back and forth, like I'm shaking it until it gets down to the, almost to the end. All right. I do this gently because if you just like take it and flip it over, I think that might that might end up with some crackies. Okay, now, and I'm going to do, you know, I should have done one of these at least ahead of time, but I didn't. All right, so take your tear and tape. We're going to run it as close to the edge on the chipboard as you can get. And then on the cardstock edge, we're going to end up cutting these corners off. So I'm just going to start this like right here. And again, as close to the edge as you can get. And some people don't like the tape, like they want to use glue for this too. I mean, if you're happy with the glue, if you think that'll hold fine, then you do you. I like the tape, and then I will fill in like this area with glue. All right, and then once I get all this tape done, then I'm going to burnish, burnish, burnish. And this part really, it's just time consuming, but like don't rush. Nothing ever good comes from rushing on a craft project like this. Now, really, if I mess this up, it wouldn't be the end of the world because it's my paper pumpkin chipboard. All right, let me burnish these. But I've been wanting to make one this size and like this orientation, how it's going to be like landscape. This has been on my list for quite some time. Okay. Just because I wanted to do something different. You know, usually I do them and they're like this, like portrait style. Okay, burnish, burnish, burnish. And then we can, so when we cut this, we want to cut it about a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch away from this corner. And I'm just going to do that. And we will, like when we score with the bone folder, we'll get that. It'll make a nice edge. If you cut it too close, you'll see the chipboard. And we don't want to see the chipboard. All right, let's do this one. And same thing, like very edge of the chipboard. And, oh, you know what? I didn't do my bends yet. All right, let me do that. Okay. All right, before I get too far ahead, so we want to gently bend. Hey, Peggy. You haven't really missed much. We're wrapping the covers. So the chipboard came from Paper Pumpkin Kit, so it's like 6 1/8 by 9. So I took 3 pieces because I do hoard my Paper Pumpkin chipboard, and 2 pieces for the covers. I didn't cut the chipboard at all. The 3rd piece, I went and cut the spine at 2 inches. So they're all the same exact height. All right, so we've got this. This is all bent. Okay, let's go back to adding our tape. So yeah, tonight we're gonna get this, our covers wrapped, attach the spine, make the hinge. The hinge that is going to hold 7 pages with, I believe, 1/4 inch gussets in between each. Like this 2-inch spine is really roomy. And I was trying to do the math. So we'll see when I go to make the hinge. Like I did all those numbers just by math. So I hope it's correct. But I wanted to see like how many pages could I get in this 2-inch space? And 7 was the number. And I don't plan to do a whole bunch of like 3D things or, you know, things that are going to pop up on these pages because I really just want an album to hold a bunch of pictures. So 7 pages is going to give us 14 sides. because, you know, a page will have the front and the back. So I'm thinking we can put at least 35 or 40 pictures in this book. All right, now same thing, we'll cut our corners. All right, and now we'll do, actually I can go ahead and finish wrapping these. So I want to press it, press this, actually go down the side, and then this side, like the top, and then the side. All right, and let's just do this for all of them. Burnish, 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 side, burnish. Same thing over here. Side, side, top, top, top. This one. Let's do this. All right, now let's pick our, I like to start with, actually, I like to start with the long sides and up top. All right, so peel your tape, add your glue. I want a bead of glue right at this seam. All right, don't be shy with that. And then I like to zigzag it across the whole thing. So now I'm going to start in the middle, and I am pulling. Oh yeah, Peggy, don't forget to give me the finger. I'm pulling it down in the middle and then working my way out, like pressing it and like squishing it all out. All right, because we want that to be a nice tight edge. All right, and then burnish, burnish, burnish. And let me get my little, let me get a paper towel. So some glue may seep out of the corners, like it's not a big deal, but we can just get that up. All right, so then I want to do the next side, long side, same thing. Peel our tape. Add our glue along the seam, and then here we go. All right, middle, pulling it towards me and working my way out, okay? And then come back in and burnish that. And we can give it a press along the edge as well. All right, that looks good. All right, and then we'll do same thing on the little ones. Now, before I do the little ones, where we have the corners, so see how this edge, like I cut it, you know, I gave it more than 1/8 of an inch, but this little part here and here, we want to take the curved end of our bone folder and just smash that down and like drag it in. So down and like in. This one down, and so it will go in. And then we can, let's do this. Fold that down. Same thing. Burnish. All right, and then the top burnish. And I can tell, so my corners aren't going to exactly meet, but it's not the end of the world, because we're going to add a layer to the inside covers anyway. All right, peel that tape up. Again, bead of glue. All right, and then starting in the middle and squeezing. Let's get this little bit of glue off of there. And then burnish, 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 burnish. All right, so see how this part of the corner is not completely covered? Don't worry about that. That's just because of the angle that I cut those corners off. See, this one is fine, but it really doesn't matter because we're going to add another piece of cardstock, and you're not going to notice that. All right, Same thing on this one. I want to get those corners in. I feel like I didn't put this one straight. Like that chipboard ends. That might be a situation. Like right down here, I can tell it's just not straight. All right. Like it doesn't go all the way to the edge of the cardstock up top. Oh well, it's a handmade album. It is not going to be perfect. I have to get over that. All right, bead of glue. Glue. All right, and then start in the middle. Squish, squish, squish. Burnish, burnish, burnish. All right, so let me show you what I mean. So see, can you see here? Like that little bit, it seems like the, so I didn't fold the cardstock. I didn't get it right up on the edge. Oh, look at that. Ooh, I wonder if I can fix this. All right, let me just pull this up a smidge because I can jam that back down in there. I don't think it's going to want to work. All right, you know what? So what I did was just like cut it a little bit so that then I can add more glue and then I can shove that down. There we go. All right, so that's what I get for not noticing that before. And again, I'm going to be adding another layer of cardstock. So this looks janky, but we're going to cover that up. I'm just more concerned with having this side like nice. All right. This is a contender for the back cover. But all right, I'm not going to spend any more time on that. What's done is done. Okay, so same thing with this one. Let's bend that and pay more attention this time, Tony. All right, so let's get this right up to the edge. So this part of the album is, yeah, I do got to show it who's boss. This part of making the album is not the most exciting because we're not designing, we're not, we're just creating the base. But it's a necessary part. So again, in the middle, and I'm pulling it down towards me and out. All right, that looks good. That corner. Flip this around. Oh, whoops. Let's do this first. So I already scored it, and then I bent it back and forth. All right, so this should be good. I really do like this, this whole made with love business. Like the papers. I did get a pack of the two-tone cardstock to do other things with, but I didn't have to open that up for, I'm just using the workshop kit and then these couple of pieces of cardstock for the covers. All right, so squishing this down, burnish, burnish, burnish. That's looking good. Now let's do this corner. Smash it and like push it in. Fold over. Come along the side. You really need a bone folder that has a straight edge. So like the old timey, the ones that I've had, from Stampin' Up for years. I mean, I suppose you could use this, but it's not quite straight, it's like still curved. So I just found like something with this flat edge is really good for this kind of project. Nice, tight, straight corners are your friend. All right, this doesn't want to peel up. Come on. Jeez. It's like, what's wrong with my fingernails? It's not like they're too short or too long. There we go. God. Bless it. All right. And glue. And then down in the middle and press out. All right. And then bone folder. Straight, straight, straight along the edge. That is nice. All right, now same thing. Oh, whoopsie. Press that. And then we'll give it a press along the edge to get that really butted up against the side there. Peel our tape. I'm just always amazed at like how many pictures we can really get in something that's called a mini album, you know? Best set of corners yet. Yeah, that first set was terrible. All right, but at least I was able to fix it. Okay. All right, now this one, not quite meeting again, but as we've said, not the end of the world. All right, top and then side. Nice. All right, so this, when we line them up, this one on the bottom, can you tell this is hanging just a smidge past the front cover? So this is definitely going to go on the back. All right, spine. So similar process. So I've already gone in with this, like scored around the chipboard because we want that cardstock to learn that it's going to bend around that chipboard. All right, now we can easy bend it towards us. All right, similar, because we want to train this to go around the chipboard. All right, and that, and then I'm going to go back again. It doesn't hurt to really hit these sides again. All right, now for this lay flat method, I've done this so many different ways. So let's put our tape, where did I put my tape? Right here. So similar to the covers, I want tape right at this edge and right at this edge. All right, and right here. All right, so now let me burnish this. This is where sometimes I will do things a little differently. So when we folded, we kind of have corners here and here, like corners here and corner here. I want to trim this just a little bit, like right at those lines. All right, both sides, and we're not done trimming. And this is just to take away some of the bulk, right? Okay, so let's get rid of this. And we can start by folding that over and burnish, and along the side. All right, and then same thing. We'll pick up the tape. Whoopsie. So the only thing is sometimes when you're working with this paper pumpkin chipboard, the tape will like peel up the chipboard, right? It'll peel it right off of there because it's cheap. It's not the best. So I just pluck it off and then I'm going to add a whole new piece. Oh, whoopsie. I got to put the sticky side down. Okay. All right, burnish, burnish, burnish. That's better. Okay, and then glue again, right next to the spine and right there. And we'll just flip that over and right in the middle. All right, burnish, 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 and get that edge. All right, and then we'll do the same thing down here. Now don't worry that this doesn't seem like very cleaned up. It's not. We're gonna take care of that. All right, glue, glue, burnish, fold that right over, burnish, burnish, get the side. Okay. Now, our wings, if we want to call them that, what we want to do is put our scissors right at the edge here and then just curve it in a little. We just want to taper that a tiny little bit. All right, same thing on this side. See how that's hanging off? Let's see if that's going to get in focus. There is a smidge right here hanging off. So I want to do the same thing, just angle. Angle, you put it at the edge and angle your scissors in. Same thing, edge, angle in. So we cut off these little slivers from the side. All right, now we really want to press this down. All right, because our covers are going to attach right to these flaps. All right. Yeah, that's good. Love it. All right, more tape. This time I'm gonna put it right at the edge. And I'm still gonna use some glue too, like in the middle. And so when we put our cover on here, we're gonna butt the edge of this cover up to about a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch off of the edge of where our cardstock is laying, because ultimately we want our book to open like this. Like it'll stay closed this way and open. So that's why and I know it's hard to see, but get down in here. When you push this down, you can see like a gully here. So we want to put our cover just to the right of that gully. All right, a smidge. Can you see that that's like maybe an 1/8 of an inch? So I do want to add some tape. Not quite to that gully edge, but close. All right. Okay. Burnish all of this. All right. Now my hope also is by doing this part first, if you guys want to continue like play along, you'll have this whole week to do this part. All right, now bring your scoreboard back in. And I want to use this just to hold everything nice and straight. So I want this top edge pushed all the way up. And this is going to be my front cover. And I'm just lining it up so everything is pushed up. So this should all be straight down here. And it is. So I'm going to peel my tape. Add my glue. So I'm going to go a little bit like right before and then all over. All right. And did I get it? Yep, on the bottom. Of course I did. Okay, and now let's get that in place. And again, keep everything nice and flush. All right, so burnish, 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 burnish. And I'm just going to do this a little bit and then flip it over and do this side. And then when I get the second cover on, I'll really come back at it. All right, so now this is our front cover. So this side is going to have our back cover, and I want this wonky bit to be in the back corner. So this time, I'm going to put it like up here. So this can flop up. The important part is keeping this straight. And, oh, no, you know what? I need to do it the opposite because that bottom piece is wonky. So I have to come in this way. But same thing, keep this part straight. Get that in there again. Let's peel our tape. And we're going to do the same thing, like add the glue, add the cover, like about 1/8 of an inch off of this inside edge. All right, let's hold that in place. This is 2 hands. All right, lay that down flat-ish. As flat as it's gonna go. Okay, I think that's good. Burnish. If it ends up being a little crooked, then oh well. We tried. Okay. All right, now let's go back and burnish all this. Burnish this. All right, and again, this is the inside. So we've got our cover. Perfect. So there's no cracking. We've got a nice edge. No cracking, nice edge. I love it. All right, now this is lay flat because look, you guys, it is really gonna lay flat if we want it to. That's kind of turns into a lie once we add pages, but all right, now we're to the part where we need to cover this part because right now it's flippy floppy. So we need to add another piece here that's going to give it some stability. And for this, I decided I did the poppy covers and I want to do Fleur de Flamingo for the inside bit. So this inside spine cover is 5 by 6. So remember our book was 6 1/8 inch tall. So you want your spine cover to be just a smidge smaller. All right. Some people go straight to the edge. I don't care for that. So this is how I want it to. I want to have a smidge of poppy peeking out from the top and the bottom. Let's see, like that. All right. And same thing on the bottom. So again, let's get more tape. You're going to use a lot of tape making your albums. All right. Let me set it this way. So we want to add. And again, I don't want to go to the complete edge because we're going to see some of that poppy. But I do want it nice and straight. And again, I'm going to do a lot of tape and glue. Thing with tape is it will eventually like dry up and it may pop up. I found that to be the case with even the red line tape that we used to use years ago. And so the score tape, it seems to be pretty good. But it's just the nature of tape that it dries out. All right. So liquid glue is always best, but the tape helps, especially getting it down. All right. Now adding this tape, but I'm not going to peel this up quite yet. All right. Now I cut my inside spine covers the same exact width. So that was 5 inches, which was the same as my spine wrap, just because I like it to cover that same bit of that same area. Like you could have this spine cover come all the way out here if you want, but not for me. This is good enough because I'm going to add a whole nother piece of Fleur de Flamingo cardstock over here. All right, so we've got this. Burnish that down. This is the left side. All right, this is the right side. So we're going to start with the middle and peel all this up. Now, if you had tape this was 1/4 inch tape. If you had 1 inch tape, go for it. If you had 2-inch tape, you would just have less tape to add. All right, let's do glue. I hope I don't have to refill my glue. I think I'll be fine. All right, now I'm gonna put this down straight, okay? And I'm only attaching it here first because I have to go back in with my bone folder and add these creases. All right, so I'm just eyeballing again, like you want to keep it top and bottom straight-ish. Okay, so burnish, burnish, burnish. Anything comes out of the edge, just scoop it up. Okay. Now, without attaching this entirely, I want to go and get this started. All right, so I'm just going to lift it up, start it with a crease. All right, and now I'm going to attach it, but that's just to like get the cardstock going. So let's peel this up. And again, I want to add some glue down here. This tape is harder to peel. Okay. Okay, more glue. So, see what I'm doing? All right. Let's glue that. Burnish, burnish, burnish. See how that's not quite straight? Like, doesn't matter. Because again, we're going to add a whole piece of Flirty Flamingo. Ooh, which you know what? I don't think I cut that. So, we'll come back to that. All right. Let's get this tape up. I tell you what I really want to do is an album and add fabric to the covers because I just found a bag of stuff that I got from Michael's, or not Michael's, Joann's before they closed. And they get me every time with like the fat quarters. It's an Easter one. And I know I got it last year. And I always think, oh, I'm going to make such cute stuff. And nope, I haven't made anything. All right, so we've got this all burnished down. And now same thing. I want to start bringing this up and take my curved edge again and just go back and forth. And this will be, gentle. This is one where you could use this edge too, if you only have this one. All right. All right, burnish, burnish, burnish as I'm dragging it up. Okay. And then same thing on this one. Start it and then go in with your bone folder. I think I meant to put glue down in this crack too, and I forgot. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay, but here's our cover. I love it. So it's going to lay flat on its own. Like, it's not going to pop up. I'm not going to have a ribbon closure. But I love it. Now I'm going to bend this a little bit that way and that way. And now we're going to add the hinge. So, well, the set of hinges, okay? And I know it's 5 of 9. I'm not going to take too much more time. Okay, so for the hinge, I want 7 hinges with 1/4-inch gaps in between, gussets, really, all right? So your hinge, you want it to be even a smidge smaller than your spine, right? And I chose Flirty Flamingo because I want it to all blend in. So if I had this poppy, if something was crooked or not quite right, it's really going to show up worse. So same color, I think, is better. So for this piece, and I will just tell you, my pages are going to be 5 3/4 tall by 8.5 inches wide. All right, so 5 3/4. So I want my hinge to be a smidge less than 5 3/4. So I'm going to say this was 5 3/4, and I took a 1/16 of an inch off. All right, so that's really like 5 and 11/16. So this was my shorthand, 5 3/4, and then less than a 16th inch less than 5 3/4. So that's really 5 and 11/16. So when I do my blog post with measurements, I'm going to say 5 and 16 by 8.5. All right, now measurements. So this is going to be the fun part. It's a whole bunch of them. And like I said, I will, yeah, look, store-bought, you're awesome. All these will be on the blog. All right, so we've got, this is 8.5 inches wide. We're going to start with, so it goes hinge, hinge, gusset, hinge, hinge, gusset, hinge, hinge, gusset until we get to the end. So we've got 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/4. So that's our gusset, 1/4 inch gusset, 1 3/4, 2 1/4. So our hinges are 1/2 inch, right? 2 1/4, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 3 3/4, 4 1/4, 4 3/4, 5, 5.5, 6, 6 1/4. Actually, I'll make these do that again. 6 1/4, 6 3/4, 7 1/4, 7.5, and then 8. Okay. Phew. All right. So that's a lot of business. Our hinges, we're going to fold down. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold all these. The hinges are, between the 1/2 inch marks. And then our final one. All right. And we might as well burnish these. And this basically, we're going to fold these up, glue it together, and attach it. And I think I'm going to show you a couple of the pages because I did cut the pages to add. But I'm not going to suffer through all 7 of them. All right. So hinges. Now the gussets we want to fold up. Well, down really. Because we want to create. Let me show you. Here's our hinge, that's up, and there's our gusset, that's down. All right, and then this one up. Fold. All right. So once you get one of these going, then you're going to be able to squeeze your hinges together, and you could fold it both ways for that gusset. I know it's hard to explain, and hopefully you'll be able to see good enough. But once you do this, you'll get it. All right. Now, when I get to this hinge at the very end, I got to make sure that folds nice, and you want to keep everything straight. So our hinges, we're going to glue together. Now, you can tape these together or glue them. I'm just going to glue them. This one at the very end, just because of how you cut cardstock and score, sometimes see how there's like a tiny little bit hanging off the edge? So you don't want that hanging. You don't want anything hanging off the edge, because when this hinge is in your album and it's trying to move, because there's going to be a page attached to this, anything over the bottom, it's going to make a noise and it's going to impede your page turning. So I just want to trim that a teeny little bit. And that's probably too much, but it doesn't matter. All right, but let's glue this together. So again, you can use tape if you want. I'm just going to use glue. So see how now that edge does not hang over. In fact, I cut it, a little bit short, but that's fine. All right, so now this other hinge, glue, glue, glue. And I'm just gonna burnish that, glue it together, burnish it. All right. It's easier for me to see the hinges sideways like this. Squeeze them together. Burnish back and forth, get that glue all moved around. Another hinge. This is probably going to be the most, the biggest, like the most number of pages. So 7 pages. I've never done this many before, but when I was sitting down with doing the math, figuring how many can I get in this 2-inch wide spine, this is what it came out to. And then it was like the perfect amount of 2-tone cardstock sheets that they had in the kit was 7. So it's like, maybe it was meant to be. All right, squish this together. All right, so see how they're coming together and we're getting all of our hinges together. This glue. Yeah, I'm gonna have to refill my glue. I'll do that later. All right, last one. And the last one is an edge. I just want to make sure the same thing, that like it's not going to hang over. And this one, a teeny tiny little bit. So I'm just going to take a smidge off. All right. And then glue these together. Squeeze. Burnish, 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 burnish. All the things. Okay, so now look at that. We have our hinge with 7 hinges. And let's do the math. This better not be more than 2. Yep, sweet. So this total thing is 1 3/4 inch wide by the time we got all of it glued together. So that is perfect. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of tape. So all we have to do now is take this. Actually, let me get the right edges. Let's do a little bit of tape and then some glue, a lot of glue. So this is 1/4 inch tape and I've got 1/4 inch gussets. So this is gonna be a tight squeeze. All right. I'm not gonna put this on every one. I do every other one. And well, actually, let me do the end one too. I mean, at this point, why don't I just do all of them? Right, that's dumb, but no, I'm not. All right, let's burnish this down. Burnish our tape. All right, so we've got our spine and hinges. So I'm gonna peel up all the tape. We're gonna add glue. And then you could get out a ruler. I'm gonna eyeball. Okay. Oh, and I should have done my dry fit before I pluck this tape up. But what I want to do is get this center in this area. And I should have like an 1/8 of an inch top and bottom. And then about an 1/8 of an inch on each side. So, all right. Glue, glue, glue. And adding all this glue is going to give me some wiggle room, some wiggle time to get this in place. And I am going to stand up a little bit because I want to make sure I get it straight if I can. All right. So again, I want to have the top, I want to have the same amount of space, top and bottom, side to side. It sounds like a Ouija board. All right. Okay. I think that's, I can't tell. I think it looks good. All right. Well, it's down now. Okay. So now let's go in and we'll just burnish this all because I want to get all that glue in each gusset really stuck down. All right. And actually, maybe just take my finger down first, get it kind of down there. Okay. And then burnish, burnish, burnish. And you can, it's good to like flap each hinge over and do the burnishing because these hinges need to be, they need to easily move back and forth anyway. So yeah, spend some time getting in here in each gusset and really giving it the business. All right, because we want that down. We don't want any of this popping up. But again, glue and tape is good. The tape's going to get it stuck down. The glue's really going to help it stay and be your long-term adhesive friend. All right, I think that does look pretty good. Okay, so let me see this. Feel like my camera froze. So you see how that we have like about 1/4 of an inch between where the book bends from the cover and the edge of our spine system. I love it. All right. Now, this is going to be good. When I go to add the pages, and I did not cut for this, we'll do that next time, or I'll just do it later and tell you. But really, I'm just going to cut a piece of Flirty Flamingo that is, let's see, here's the edge. So I'll do it like 8 7/8 by 6. 8 7/8 by 6. Let me write this down because I forgot. 8 7/8 by 6. We need 2 of these. Flirty Flamingo. And this is inside, front, and back covers. Okay. Got it. All right. Now, pages. Like I said, I wanted the pages to be 8.5 by 5 3/4. So we made our hinge a smidge smaller than 5 3/4, right? Our cover is not, so I only want this to go 8.5 because 2, that was good math for getting these 12 by 12. So for the first time ever, I used 2-tone cardstock for the pages. All right. I normally don't do that. I know I've talked about it before saying I don't think they're sturdy enough. Well, we're going to try it, but I'm going to be gluing them together. So I'm not going to make pocket pages out of these. I'm hoping that gluing them together is going to make them sturdy enough for what I want. So I had 7 pieces in the kit and I cut them 8.5 by 11.5. All right. So these strips that are all left over, I'm going to do something with. We're either going to make pockets or tags or something. All right. So I've got 7 pieces and they're all, let's see, there was 2 bubble bath. There was 4 Flirty Flamingo. So I picked a light side and a dark side. And then there's 1 of the poppy. So I want to arrange these so that they're like in a good order. So I want a dark, I want a bubble. And this bubble bath, like the other side looks white, but it's really not. So putting these in order, then a Flirty Flamingo light, then our pop. the Flirty Flamingo Light and the Bubble Bath, and then again with the Flirty Flamingo Dark. So 8.5 by 11.5. And I'm going to start with the back page. Actually, I could score them all. So all we're going to do is score these at 5 3/4, right? On the long side. Now, because this is two-tone, I want to be gentle when I score it. Okay, 5 3/4. And you know what? We're only going to do, let's do 3, and then wrap it up. Because once I show you this, it's not rocket science. So 5 3/4, and then 5 3/4. All right. So our pages, our album pages, fold this in half. Where's my bone folder? This is going to be our page, all right? So normally I might leave this open on the side or have the seam at the bottom, have it open at the top. I'm not doing any of that because, again, I want to make sure that these are going to make sturdy enough pages. All right, so be gentle when you're folding these because, again, it's two-tone. I don't feel like it's as sturdy, nice, as regular cardstock. And I really don't want to get cracked edges because this white core will show through. All right, so when you're adding your pages, I start at the back. All right, and what we're going to do is, ooh, you know what? Dang it. I meant to miter my edges. So I just want to miter these hinges a little bit like that. And I should have done that before I glued it in. All right. Oh, that little piece of cardstock just flipped and went right in my drink. At least it's just water. All right, so miter these just a smidge, even though I made the hinge I got another one in there. Even though I made the hinge a smidge smaller than my pages, mitering it does help. And you don't have to get it all the way down to the edge. Geez, these little bits are flying everywhere. All right, hilarious. Okay, so bottom. Can you see this way how they are mitered just a smidge? All right, so our pages, now I can see that this one did not fold perfectly nice. Let me see if I can fix that. Because if not, I'm going to trim it a smidge because I don't want that hanging over. So 5 3/4. Good enough. Okay. Now, again, you can use tape to attach these. I'm just going to use glue because it's going to hold just fine. So what we're going to do is this hinge is going to fit right in here. All right. And I'm going to put the fold at the top and straight down. So I want this edge of our page to go about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch above this fold. All right, because again, you need it, you can't have it right down to the very middle of this. Let's see, you can't have it touching the spine because when you go to turn it, it's just not gonna move, right? It needs a little bit of room. So I'm gonna eyeball this to where I want it, smidge off, straight up and down. Use the bottom of your album on top to see, get your spacing right, okay? Because we want it straight across the top, straight across the bottom. All right, that looks good. I've backed it up a smidge. So what I'm going to do is hold this in place, lift that up, add my glue, and I'm going to add it down to the bottom and down the side. And a little bit all over. Oh, and you know what? I shouldn't have done that side. I should have just done this spine. Oh well, because I have to get in there on the other side of that spine. All right, it's a good thing we did more than one. All right, burnish this down. Get that glue down. All right, when we flip our page over, so now, oh, I can get my glue right up in here. All right, and it didn't stick. All right, cool. Burnish, burnish, burnish. All right. So some things you may notice that it's that your hinge, it looks like the page isn't on there exactly straight. So it looks like I have a little bit less room at the bottom than I do at the top. Don't worry about that, because the important part is making sure it's straight along the top and bottom of your album, because that's what you're going to see. If you lined it up, and that's only because I probably didn't put this on exactly straight. If you line it up with the hinges, your pages could be wonky, and then you're not going to like it. All right, so next page, let's do the bubble bath. And again, that looks a little bit wonky, but it's fine. All right, now I'm going to pay attention. So get that over that spine, that hinge rather, line up with the top and the bottom of your existing page. This is why I start with the back and move forward. All right, so that looks good. Back that out a smidge more. And that looks okay. So I'm going to hold it in place. This time I'm only going to put glue on my hinge on this side. All right, and fold my page down. Press that so that glue is getting in place. It's holding it down. Oop, I dropped my bone folder. Now I can flip this page over to the back side. And now I can flip this up and add more glue. Let's add it to this side, which may be off camera, around the bottom. And then I'll go right here along this hinge. And all over. All right. Fold that closed. Fold that back. I like it. All right. So another reason why I only wanted to get this far as adding the pages is I want to see if once I let all this glue dry, I want to see how sturdy these pages are. And right now they're feeling pretty good. But I don't like that I can see the glue lines, but I have plans to cover this anyway. All right, we'll do one more, and then I want to show you just a quick peek at my January tutorial card. So, I started this last year. Anytime anyone orders stuff online, or even if you put it in, whatever, you get a tutorial PDF. So nothing, no kits in the mail, but you get 4 things. You get a tutorial for 4 things that you make with your own stuff. And then I do give you a card stash in the real mail. So you get something in the mail, but it's not breaking my bank with the postage. All right, so let's fold this down. Okay. And I'm going to press this and then bone fold, smash, smash, smash. I love this size of the page. God, it's going to be so much room. All right, so here's what I was doing. Glue down here, all the way across the bottom, right here along this hinge, and then all over. All right, just enough. Fold, smash, all of that. All right. And press that down. So, all right, this is looking good. I love it. So I've got 4 more pages to add. What we're going to do next week is, and I'm going to cover this before I take pictures for this week. What we're going to do next week is the covers. Like I'm going to add something to the cover. We're going to do a couple of elements on the page. So they're not just going to be plain pages. We're going to have pockets. I'm going to do pockets on the front and back cover. I may do some pockets throughout, but we'll have like some tuck spots, a couple of little flips, you know, some things of interest, but I don't want to get too crazy because with having a 1/4 inch gusset, that doesn't leave a ton of room for a whole bunch of 3D stuff. So I wanted to focus more on building the pages, you know, building the album, getting these 7 pages in. And I mean, really, 4 or 5 pictures on every page, like that's a lot. So, okay, so I'm going to cut it off here. Quick with the Jan tutorial. So this one I used the Love Notes paper. We just click, and then this stamp set was the new reason to. You leave the side open for pocket? You could, Peggy. So, but that's why I said I didn't want to with this cardstock. So this is the 2-tone cardstock, which is not nearly as sturdy as regular cardstock. So that's why I wanted to glue it all flat, glue it together, because this already sounds more sturdy and it's not nearly as floppy as just 2-tone on its own. I mean, you could certainly try it. I just thought it was going to be too flimsy, right? So, but you could. Better together. This came from the Reason to Celebrate stamp. This one, a mini slimline, and I used the sunflower embossing folder, and then these huge die cut letters, and then I used the lasting linen to stamp the letters on. And then these were from an ephemera pack. This one, I used the bees. I will tell you, I've used a whole bunch. So this is 2 layers of vellum on here. I used a lot of glue, of this glue, in the areas that are behind the bee. I should not have done that. Glue and vellum does not mix that way. I should have used glue dots because the vellum soaked up all of the liquid, and then my cardstock bent. Like, you can see it's still bent. I had to add another layer of cardstock to try to make it flatter, and it did a little bit because it was worse, but not enough. So now I have to remember, only use glue dots on vellum or teeny tiny little bits. And then the 4th one, so I don't know if you got the velvet paper that was in the last mini, the holiday catalog. It had like white, red, and green. You can emboss this. I don't know if you can see this pattern. There we go. I used the eyelet embossing folder on it. It's not really deep, but it's good enough. And I used 2 heart shapes. I do the score line on the back so that you can actually open it. And then just some random punches that I've had. And these dies are retired. But those are the cards for my January tutorial. And what else? I think that's all I was going to tell you because it's already, I didn't really mean to go this late. Like, I should have had that one cover done, at least the front and the back, and then I wouldn't have had to do both of them. But anywho, I will have my blog updated with all these measurements and some more pictures of what we got done tonight. And then next week, you know, we're doing all the extras. But man, I love this already. It is perfect cover. Love, love, love. I can tell already. Yeah, these are definitely sturdy when you double it up like that. And look at that. 2-inch spine. Looks like a candy box. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And again, I will also, thanks, Lisa. I'll also post the Super Bowl squares. I'll get that done this weekend too. All right, and I'll just repost all the rules from last year. Same thing, nothing has changed. And then we'll get that filled up. So as soon as we get the squares filled up, then I will go live. Like as soon as it's filled up, whatever. It might be 2 weeks. I'll go live and we'll do the drawing to see what numbers we put at the top and the bottom. Right. So the chart we'll draw to see which team goes on which side, and then the numbers for the top and down there. Okay. So thanks, Rose. Oh, model the t-shirt, girl. Okay, so this shirt is one that Di got me. Oh, it says, I just want to make cards and hang out. Oops, where am I? And hang out with my craft supplies. It's hilarious. So Di got me and Jamie the same shirt, so we can be twinsies at the next crop we go to. All right, Rose, you're in for a few squares. Awesome. Thanks, Karen. I'm glad you're here. All right, you guys. Good night. I will talk to you later. Bye.